Hello everybody, today I have a Shadow Sever Necromancer leveling build that is made using the Codex of Power, meaning that if you are leveling up, you will be guaranteed to be able to have this build without needing any drops. All you have to do is go and complete a dungeon, which will then unlock the Codex of Power, and it'll add a power, and you can go to the Occultist to level up whatever rare into a legendary with the given aspect. So that being said, let's go ahead and run into the gear. We have Aspect of Might to give damage reduction to our basic skills. We have Aspect of the Protector to give us a barrier whenever we're fighting elites. We have Aspect of the Empowering Reaper. What this does is makes your Sever spawn a pool of blight under the target that does a little bit of bonus damage. We have Aspect of Disobedience. This gives you a stacking armor buff that increases your armor by quite a lot. It's a really good defensive. We have a Looting Boot, so if this is to help prevent any chain CC from happening, so if you get brought down to below 35% health and you are still stunned, it'll make you unstoppable for 4 seconds, so you can get out of that, heal, do whatever you need to do to survive. This does have a 40-second cooldown though. Next we have Blighted Crystal Greatsword. You deal 100% increased damage for 6 seconds after Shadow Blight key passive damages enemies 10 times. We have Choker of Grasping Veins, gain 15% crit after using corpse tendrils, and then you get 45% bonus critical strike damage to enemies that were damaged with corpse tendrils. Then we have Band of the Expectant, increase your damage of the next core skill by up to 30%, and Sacrificial Ring, your sacrifice bonuses are increased by 15%. So this is not a minion build. I have found that minions just die and are generally speaking not very good, so I focus on just sacrifice builds. So for the sacrifices, you're going to want to do Reapers. This is going to increase your shadow damage by 17%. Then you're going to want to do the Cold Skeletal Mages, because this is going to increase your damage to vulnerable enemies by 17%. And then you're going to want to do Golem. You want to sacrifice your Iron Golem because it'll give you 35% increased critical strike damage. Alright, moving on into the skills for the Sever Necro. We have Reap, Enhanced Reap, Acolyte's Reap. I actually really like this because it guarantees that you can get a corpse even if nothing has died yet, so it's really cool for proccing corpse tendrils and stuff like that. Then we have Sever, Enhanced Sever, and Paranormal Sever. This gives you access to Vulnerable, which is super sweet. Making things vulnerable is a pretty big damage buff. Then we have Maximum Essence is increased by 9. Core skills deal 15% more damage. Hewed Flesh. This is going to give you a chance to spawn corpses just for hitting things, so this really helps against bosses. And keep in mind, generally speaking, when it comes to deciding when to take a passive or when to max things out, what I generally do is I will go down, I will try to get every single ability that I'm going to use, and then if I'm ever at a point where I need to spend more points to get to the next thing, I'll come back and I'll max out. If I have a main damage ability, I'll start maxing that out, and then if I have all of my main damage abilities maxed out that I want to max out, then I will go back and I'll start taking the passive abilities. So that being said, yeah, so you get 4% there. You come down here, you have Grim Harvest. Consuming a corpse generates 2 essence. Fueled by Death, you deal 9% increased damage after consuming a corpse. Then you have Iron Maiden, Enhanced Iron Maiden, and Abhorrent Iron Maiden. So whenever you curse people with this, once they die, it's going to heal you. And then whenever things are cursed, they take 9% increased damage, as well as close enemies take 6% more damage from you and deal 9% less damage to you. And then Decrepify, Enhanced Decrepify, and Abhorrent Decrepify. So these are pretty cool because it has a chance to decrease your cooldown. So your Bone Storm, for example, is going to have its cooldown decrease. Your Corpse Tendrils will have its cooldown decrease, so it's pretty cool. And they also have a chance to be stunned, so it gives you access to a little bit of CC. Then we have Corpse Tendrils, Enhanced Corpse Tendrils, Plague Corpse Tendrils. This is another way to apply Vulnerable, to make sure things are vulnerable all the time. And then it's also a way to stun and pull everything in. So it's a good way to group up enemies so you can hit some nice severs. Then you have Necrotic Carapace. So when a corpse is formed from your skills or your minions, you fortify for 6% of your base life. Come over here, you'll get some movement speed here, and then you'll have a chance to stun things for 3 seconds, as well as a stacking shadow damage buff. So just for attacking things normally, they'll start to begin to take 18% increased damage from you, or shadow damage from you. And then you have Terror, so this is another 18% damage buff if you're attacking things with darkness skills that against things that are slowed or stunned. Come down here, we have Standalone. Increases damage reduction by 6%, reduced by 2% for each active minion. I'm actually going to pull 2 points out of this. I don't think that was correct. Yeah, so then we have 18% damage reduction here, reduced by 2% for each active minion. Sacrificing both skeletal warriors and skeletal mages increase their sacrifice bonuses by 60%, which we are doing. Then we have Bone Storm, Prime Bone Storm, and Supreme Bone Storm, so you get a crit bonus and damage reduction while Bone Storm's active. And then Shadow Blight, so shadow damage infects enemies, and every 10th time you have dealt shadow damage to somebody, they will take a burst of damage. So pretty cool, pretty sweet. When it comes to our minions though, we are sacrificing Reapers, we are sacrificing Cold Mages to get increased damage to vulnerable, and then we are sacrificing our Iron Golem to get 30% increased critical strike damage. So yeah. But anyway, that is it for the skills. Let's get on into some gameplay. This is Blind Burrows. This is going to be a main dungeon a lot of people are doing. You do actually have to clear out a... I can confirm that this build can punch up a little bit higher than what your base level is, because I just did a 40 stronghold with it in order to unlock Vi-Res. So this is definitely not bad, so just go ahead, activate Corpse Tendrils, and then you're going to notice your damage is going to go way up anytime you Corpse Tendrils. But your damage also isn't too bad either. So let's go ahead and get some things grouped up here if we can. Then we can try to curse them. Oh no, these things just want to... Okay. Curse them. Kill them. There we go. Boom. A lot of poison in here. Not too bad. Keep on moving. Slay the infested villagers. And this build translates into the in-game pretty well. Well, I guess I don't know that 100%, but I'm assuming it does. I try not to look at too much in-game stuff on the Necromancer until I've actually got there and made my own build myself. Just because it's a lot more fun to play the game that way, instead of just trying to solve the game immediately. But based on what I've learned from playing the Druid, these guys have really good access to Vulnerable and really good access to critical strike damage in this build. So it should translate, as long as there's good legendaries, it should translate really well into the endgame. Whereas I think Blood is really fun while leveling. I had a really good time playing Blood Surge. And that's, I kind of just switch between Blood Surge and this as I'm leveling. Pretty much, seems like every time I go to like upgrade my weapon and stuff, I kind of just switch stuff back around if I feel like it, just to keep things fresh. But I'm not certain that Blood is going to be all that great at the end game, because it looks like its main thing is overpower, and you kind of need to be able to do crit and critical strike damage to really do well at the end game, and you need to have easy access to vulnerable, which I'm not seeing a whole lot of with Blood yet, but we'll see if maybe my opinion changes as I approach the end game with it. But yeah, you can see I don't really use my curses unless I have like a whole lot of enemies. Like right here would be a good time. There we go. Yeah. Boom. And then Bone Storm. See, we just start hitting like a truck once we get the Bone Storm and everything active. So not too bad. Too bad at all. Pretty good experience in Blind Burrows. For a normal dungeon, it's pretty dense. I will say, Blood does have better sustain, I think, than all the other builds I've played. Because that Blood Surge heals for quite a bit. But that would also make sense. Why the heck would Blood not have healing in it? Okay. Go ahead, do this. Go ahead, amp up everything, and blam, there it is. And you are going to do increased damage to things while they're cursed, so putting curses on things isn't bad, even if it's only single target. It just kind of depends on what you're fighting. Alright. on, keep it on. What do we got here? Greed Shrine, sure, why not? Aw, wasn't even cursed. I don't know if I'm the only one that's just praying for cursed shrines whenever I'm like leveling anything. I just want the experience. And if you ever feel like you're having essence issues, there are some aspects in the Codex of Power that will increase your essence gain. I just went for the 15% extra bonuses from my sacrifices. So, and there's also another good one where it says like if enemies are affected by both Iron Maiden and Decrepify, increase your damage by 30%. That's also another good one. So there's actually a few different options here in terms of what you can go. Okay. Yeah. And I tried using the minions a lot. But the minions, like even after I went and buffed them up, I put all my points into all the passives, they just weren't that great. They just kept dying. Like it was wild because I know like I'm used to playing Druid, and Druid like werewolves companions and stuff are fine at this level. Way like light years better than what the minions for Necro are. I don't know if they nerfed them, what happened, but they need to fix that. They're a little too bad in my opinion. Like I just don't see why they should be that bad, especially when they have so many effects that rely on them living to like buff them. It's like once your minions have been alive for however long, get X attack speed. It's like, well, there they go dying again, so I guess I lose that bonus, and there's not really a whole lot you can do to protect them if you take all the passives and it just doesn't work. So very odd situation they're in, but who knows? Maybe during the season Blizzard will buff them. Alright, let's go ahead. Bossing on this build is not too bad. It's kind of relies on having Bone Storm and like the corpse tendrils and stuff up, so you'll just do okay damage, and then once you do that you'll see a decent chunk happen. Alright, here we go. Okay. And also don't forget that you have expectant, so whenever you don't have like corpse tendrils and stuff up, you can always just kind of stack that up and it'll do a decent hit. Hello. Yep, there you go. 36. Cool. Only 14 more to go until 50. Let's see here. Alright, come on, Brood Guard. How are you? You can see we already got a corpse. And we also take the corpse generation on our reap, just to make sure that we can get a corpse and stuff going no matter what. Here we go, kill these guys. Okay. This actually isn't too bad for me. Can give me some more reduction. Uh-oh. Aw, man, that sucks. I messed that up. It's okay though. Because I do have access to vulnerable in other ways, I just miss out on... Okay, here we go. Stop. Should attack for a second, yeah. Oh, nope. Wow. I'm so good at timing this thing's movements. And dead, maybe? No, not yet. Alright, there it is. Well, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.